What up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back with our Week 17 NFL video. And before we get into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button down here. Got to hit that button. Show us some love. Trying to get to 100 subs. That'd be great.
Uh,
And, you
yep,
know,
and unfortunately, we don't have a guest this week for our picks, but next week there will be a guest, so stay tuned for that. Um,
and speaking of those guests, we still got Cam Miggs on top after Jason had a pretty subpar right where he was hoping for a week. Middle of the pack. You can't go wrong with that at 9-7.
yeah,
And here's our picks. Ethan with a huge week coming back,
big
and now
week,
we're tied.
and we have some picks that are different again this week, so a lot on the line for both of us.
And we'll start it off here with the Bills. I think this game is pretty self-explanatory. Bills are hot, Falcons are not. But the Falcons, I believe, still have a shot to get in the playoffs, but it's a long shot. They got to win out and have a lot of teams other lose. But I just don't see that happening here, and I think Bills win big here.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Definitely Falcons. If they lose this one, they're not making the playoffs, and they haven't really looked good at all the last few weeks. So momentum's not really carrying, and it seems right where the Bills will beat them this week.
And a game that could be a toss-up because who knows with the Bears and what team you'll get, and same with the Giants. But I think the safer bet here is the Bears, just because they, have a lot more to play for with Fields out there. All the young guys, getting their work, and it's a home game. So you're gonna want to play good for your fans. So I think that's why the Bears win this week.
I believe it's Andy Dalton that's supposed to be quarterbacking this week. I'm not sure on that.
Who knows?
But either way,
Either way, it's not gonna matter.
yeah, I'm going with the Bears. Safer pick, like you said. Who knows with Mike Glennon or whoever the Giants have at quarterback. So safer picks the Bears here.
And the first disagreement of the week, I'm going with the Bengals here because I think this team is the real deal. Because they can keep up with the Chiefs and they have a defense that can stall them. Yes, last week the Bengals gave up a lot to Mark Andrews. So how are they going to adjust for Travis Kelce? That's the huge question mark, I think, going into this matchup. But, on the corners with Tyreek Hill, they have a good corner that can match up with him at Steven Nelson. He's pretty solid. But after that, what do the Chiefs have to offer after those three guys? Because we saw when they beat the Chargers, they all three went off, and it felt like no one else played. The running game, it is there or it isn't for the Chiefs. But I think, we're getting away from not talking about how good this Bengals team is. Burrow last week, over 500 yards passing. T. Higgins, an absolute monster, and he's, wide receiver 2 or 3 sometimes.
Yeah.
And, you still got Jamar Chase, who put up great numbers last week, but it's Jamar Chase, and we expect that every week, it feels like now. And I think
Yeah.
what's going to win the game here for the Bengals is Joe Mixon. How is he going to be used? Because, if you're losing early, you can't really run the ball as much as you want to. So the Bengals got to get ahead early and often.
Yeah, I think the Bengals do have to get ahead early and often, and I also think that you're right about they do have the talent to keep up with the Chiefs. I just don't think they will. I think that the more experienced quarterback in the situation, Patrick Mahomes over Joe Burrow, I think it'll really show, and especially from last week. I watched it. They've just destroyed the Steelers defense. Byron Pringle torched them, so I believe that this is the best team in football, and I think they're going to prove it this week against the Bengals.
And I'm going with the 8-0 Dolphins, I believe, or 7-0 or whatever, however many they won, too many in a row. And I think it's going to continue here and get them to a playoff berth. Tennessee, they should win the AFC South. I think they already clinched it, I believe.
I think
And I just don't know. I just don't see how the Dolphins don't win this game because Tannehill has been super inconsistent. They have no run game. Titans, they're relying on all three backs, it seems like, this week because, no one has really stood out besides Foreman's 1 week, great game. And, the Dolphins and Jalen Waddle, I think this is all you need to know. Jalen Waddle, He needs, I believe, 7 more receptions to get to 105 to tie the rookie record for most receptions in a year. He should blow that out of the water. I think he's averaging 6 or 7 catches a game. So, for Waddle to keep performing the way he is and having Devontae Parker actually healthy for once is huge for the Dolphins. And, Myles Gaskin's been super quiet these last few weeks. So I'm kind of expecting him to make some noise this week.
Yeah, I think I'm taking the Titans in this one because I think Titans at home against a pretty hot Dolphins team, like you said. I mean, Jalen Waddle's going crazy. They're actually playing very good football. I just think it's their time to lose a game. I think they came into a better team that's playing better football right now. That win last week for the Titans with who were they up against?
Who, the
It was,
Titans?
yeah.
They beat the 49ers.
Yeah. And AJ Brown really certified himself as a weapon. And I just think that they're going to be a better team this week and beat the Dolphins at home.
And here you got an interesting case. The Colts, who shouldn't have Carson Wentz, but kind of got lucky that the CDC changed the rules. So the NFLPA. So he will be playing this game on Sunday. That's a huge boost. I know he only averages like 100 yards a game passing, it feels like, but having him out there, being able to call the plays, break it down, Jonathan Taylor, it's just what they're comfortable and used to is huge. You got the Raiders who are coming in looking to steal that playoff spot from the Colts. Obviously, in head-to-head does matter in these tie-break situations if you have the same record. So you're going to be up one technically if the Raiders win this game, but at home in Indy, Jonathan Taylor's MVP favorite. If you're not a quarterback, Taylor wins it, no doubt. And I think they're just going to rely on him heavy again and expect a 2-touchdown day from him, and the Colts win.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think that the Colts, with their backup O-line, could run all over the Raiders' defensive line. But it helps. They got a boost. Their guys are back from COVID. Everyone's healthy, and I think it should be a big game for the Colts offense. I was almost say I agree with you on the running game. Jonathan Taylor's going to go off. He could win this MVP if he gets about 3 touchdowns this week or 4. You never know.
And I don't think this game needs to be talked about too much. The struggling Jaguars versus the Patriots, who are looking to immediately bounce back after a tough loss to Buffalo. And, I think they're going to open the playbook here, let Mac Jones, air it out a little bit. Come playoffs time, they have to realize that they will have to throw the ball. When you play some high scoring teams and good offenses, you can't just rely on the run game the whole time and they'll dump down passes. So I think they realize that now. And I think Mac Jones is going to have a good day passing wise against a pretty terrible Jacksonville defense.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they're just going to be the better team. I mean, the Jags really haven't done anything this year at all. And plus, they're kind of in poverty with the whole Urban Meyer situation. Yeah, he did get fired, and they have a new head coach in there, but I still don't like the way this football team is trending. Pats should win big this week against a very struggling team.
And pretty much the same thing here. Bucks should blow out the Jets.
Embarrassing, Jets.
Mm-hmm. But you never know. You never know. It is football. Still got to go out there and play any given Sunday. But, when you got Tom Brady and your team, fantasy championships or semis this week, you can depend on Brady to put up some big numbers. And I really do it. He could have his 3rd, 4th string receivers out there, and I think he's still throwing for 300.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Not much else to be said. Bucks big. Tom Brady could win you guys a league. You never know.
And a very interesting matchup here. You got the Eagles, who are looking to keep that 7 spot right now, I believe, in the playoffs. That last wild card, the win here, pretty much starts to pull them away, and they control their own destiny. But you got Washington, who's looking to, spoil that playoff berth. Always in divisional games, it always means more. Washington's officially out, I believe. And I don't know. I like Washington here in a close game. But I just think that, when you got Jalen Hurts and everything's normal on the Eagles side, you got to roll with the Eagles. And especially now that we know that Antonio Gibson's out, I think that's a huge for Washington and tough, to get anything going on offense because the offense revolves around him. So I got to roll with the Eagles here.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's going to be a tough game for the Washington football team unless they can figure it out defensively. They can't be giving up 41 points a game and expecting to win. So, you know, Eagles, they do have their identity. You can say about whatever you want. They have a limitation, but they do know they do run the football and they're a physical team. And I think that's how they win the game this week.
And another great game at 1. There's just great games galore this week.
Yeah.
Rams, who don't really necessarily need the win, because I believe they're in the playoffs if they win or if another team loses. I think the Cardinals lose. But talking about needing a win, this Ravens team needs a win bad. I think it's 3 in a row they've lost, I believe. Tough games, Green Bay by 1, Pittsburgh by 1. Last week, I mean, oh geez, you guys played. It doesn't look like they played football at all this year. And how are you going to respond at home against a high potent offense in LA? And I think it's not going to be a good response. I just think LA has too much star power on offense and defense to trouble this Baltimore team, and it'll show in the second half as LA pulls away late.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it'll be a close game at halftime because just the Ravens, that franchise where they're always competitive, even without Lamar. But I think it's going to show in the second half, like you said. It could be earlier, but Rams should win this one for sure.
And starting off the 4:00 games, Chargers, Broncos. I mean, I'm rooting for the Chargers. I think, all bias aside, Chargers have to win this game. Just because, I think it means more, not even for the players, just the franchise and for the fans. Getting a playoff berth here in Herbert's second year, sophomore year. Staley is the head coach. Who I picked to win coach of the year, and he could kind of do it if he makes a run here late and wins a playoff game or two. They got a great offense, great defense. They're just getting unfortunate luck at end of games. Had the Chiefs on the ropes and blew that one. I'm sure there's more games again, but I think a win here is a step in the positive direction for everyone involved in that Chargers organization, and I think they're going to get it done.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Chargers should definitely win this game. Now, you're right with the loss of the Chiefs, very tough loss, and then getting upset by the Texans and letting Rex Burkhead run all over you. I think it's gonna make them mad, and I'm a happy owner of Justin Herbert this week. I think he's gonna go off and win me a championship. So go Chargers.
And another 4:00 game should be a blowout, but as we saw last week, we don't know with that Houston team. Going against another 8-7 team, and they could pull off the upset. I mean, who knows with how San Francisco's been playing. You got Trey Lance quarterbacking now after we saw him a little bit, in that first half, and then it feels like he's disappeared, and then boom, spot start. I don't know. It's definitely an interesting game to watch, not just for fantasy implications, but the future of the 49ers as well.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I'm going to take the 49ers. You can't really pick the Texans in this game and be right about it. I don't know. I could see them winning the game. It's just I'm going with the Niners here. Safer pick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing the upset. I think Niners need this win.
And huge game for playoff implications. Both teams are already clinched, but where are they going to fall? And I think Cardinals are going to take the big fall here. Cowboys are on fire. Cliff Kingsbury's record, if you want to pull that up after this video, go look it up for first half and second half. Anytime he's been a head coach in his career, that winning percentage is absolutely terrible in the second half of the season, and numbers don't lie. So I got to roll with the Cowboys here. All signs point to the Cowboys, but the only thing that kind of trips me up is Kyler Murray being able to scramble out of the pocket and run a lot. I think that's going to be pivotal for the Cardinals' success in this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. Kyler Murray, the Cardinals could win this game with a very good game from Kyler Murray. I think it's a very good possibility. I was messing around thinking about taking the Cardinals, but I just think you got to take the Cowboys here as well. Just all the momentum going towards the Cowboys and going against the Cardinals really the last few weeks with the three or four losses in a row now. So yeah, I'm going with the Cowboys here. Should be a close one, and don't be surprised if the Cardinals pull off this win.
And I mean, you're kind of surprised. Probably both of us are going with the Saints if you're watching this video. After last week's performance, they do have Taysom Hill back, I believe. So it shouldn't be as Ian Book should never be a quarterback ever again. It looks like he might not get another chance after that performance. But you never know. He could go start on that Panthers team next year as the way it's going for them. So
Yeah.
I just think this is a game that the Saints, I mean, if they lose this game, this is going to put their franchise down for a few years to come because they don't really have promise right now. They should get to 8-8, win this game, and have a shot last week of making the playoffs. But once again, they're on the outside looking in, and it's not looking good.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And, this could be, you never know about this game. Panthers could win it. I just think the Saints are playing for more right now. And last week was kind of a fluke. The Dolphins played really good defense, but I mean, they had Ian Book, and I just didn't, it wasn't even on Ian Book, but they just couldn't block anybody the whole game. So I think Saints are going to play better this week and get a win against the Panthers.
And for all those Lions fans out there,
Go Lions.
this is definitely a game you can win. But every time I've picked them, they've lost. So maybe I'm pulling some Lee Corso out and going picking this team and hoping the other team wins. So we're going with the Seahawks. I mean, it could be Russ's last home game. So I think, that's going to be a huge thing for him. They're going to let Russ cook, but
Yeah.
hopefully he can cook up and actually make a main course this time against the Lions' atrocious defense.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about what analogy that was, but I'm going with the Seahawks. They're the better team. Lions aren't going to be feasting this week. I think the Seahawks should win this game. Russell Wilson, I hope this is his last game in Seattle because I want him to come to Pittsburgh next.
Maybe early trade season rumors there, but moving on to my Packers, as you can see in the background here. Shout out, the Vikings. It seemed like they were going to give us a game. Already beat us once this year, and then it just all of a sudden they got COVID.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins, man, what are you doing? Biggest game, probably of the year for you guys. If you win out, you gotta still have a shot at the playoffs, but you got to go into Lambeau Sunday night with a quarterback that's started, I believe, once this year. I don't even know his name. I mean, I saw it like 4 times and I still don't know his name. So, if that's the case, it's not looking good. Devonta Adams, 2 touchdowns, book it.
Yeah, I'm with you here. Sunday Night Football. I was thinking about picking the Vikings when I thought Kirk Cousins was going to be playing and all the guys were going to be there. But yeah, now with COVID, the Packers should win it big. No Kirk, no Captain Kirk. So, and for Monday Night Football, we got the Steelers and Browns in Pittsburgh. I'm going with the Steelers. I'll be there this week on Monday night. So go Steelers. Anything can happen. I'll be wearing my Devin Bush jersey. Obviously, they should win this game. Browns just aren't. Honestly, Ben just dominates the Browns, and what better way to end his home career than beating the Browns?
I mean, if we're talking in the playoffs, though, Ben does not dominate the Browns.
They win the playoffs, though, buddy.
Yeah, well, it's a game that gets you into the playoffs here, potentially. And I'm rolling with the Browns because, I mean, Baker has been atrocious and they almost beat my Packers on Christmas. 4 picks and you only lose by 2. I mean,
exactly.
That's pretty good. And I mean, Baker needs to go. Could be, Cleveland and Seattle. That could be, who knows, a landing spot there for Russ. But I think going into this game, Hunt is finally activated. It seems like he hasn't played since week 3, but it's really week 14 he hasn't played since. I think that's going to be the key. The run game against the Steelers front. We know T.J. Watt, Devin Bush, all these solid guys.
Yeah.
But I just can see the Browns winning this game late to spoil Big Ben's, homecoming.
Well, that's all for the video. Like we said earlier, leave a like and comment and subscribe. Just follow us on Instagram too. But we're weekly picks every week. We're both going to be coming out with our power rankings next week. I will be doing mine and he'll be doing his in the same video. So see which one you guys agree with more. But until then, Bench Buddies are out. Peace.
She never called back.